All right, it's real me again. We've been talking to the screen for so long. I wanted to jump out because we're going to do something in the real world, kind of. We're going to use a mobile app, not so real world. But this guy here, going to grab my phone and we're going to download. I want you to do it too. It's called Adobe Capture. It's amazing. We're going to learn how to do it. We're going to jump in now. You ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we are inside the phone. We're going to download Adobe Capture. It's a free app. Okay, you can download it for both Android or iPhone. I've got it running on my very old Android phone here. Okay, and I'm going to open it up here. First thing we might do is up the top here is you can see it said Menu Furniture. It was a different library that I'm using. Remember we created that library called Daniel Scott. Okay, so we're going to save things into that. First up, we are going to use this shape option in the top left. Okay, I'm going to move around my office and hit the little plus, and you get to see, first of all, you get to see my office in black and white. And this is something that I've drawn. You can see down the bottom, kind of right as well, you can turn the camera around. Okay, and you could do, remember we did the, it's a bit weird, I know, the live trace. Okay, you could do it this way. Cool. I'm going to go back. Because what we did, I drew a couple of shapes for another class. That's this really bad kiwi that I drew. So I'm going to get it kind of close and I'm going to hit the little button. Cool, so it's captured that. What we need to do now is, you can tell it's down the bottom there's giving me the tools. Okay, the bottom left is the eraser. I'm just going to go through and just kind of like rub out the stuff I don't need. All right, that looks fine to me. All right, and we're going to crop it. Okay, so up the top here, so there's redefine up the top there, crop. You can kind of see the top middle. I'm going to go down, get my shape. So this is basically just vectorizing hand-drawn stuff. Okay, you could use live trace, we'll just use this one. You can hit smooth, okay, and it'll spend some time making it look a little nicer depending on your drawing. Mine's a terrible kiwi. So let's have a look with the smoothing on. See the bottom, it says off and on. So off, on, man, it makes it look a whole lot better. Okay, then in the top right, there's this little arrow. I'm going to save it. Okay, I'm going to call him Kiwi. It's our national bird for New Zealand. I'm going to save it to my library called Daniel Scott. Cool, so we'll come back to him in a second and check those out when we jump back into Illustrator. Next thing I want to show you is type. Now what I'm going to do for here is pause because there's no type in this room. Okay, well at least not connected to my phone, connected to this mic. I'm kind of limited in range. So I'm going to pause everything here and I'm going to go downstairs and there's a cafe down below called Beetroot. Okay, it's pretty cool. I want to grab their type. So I'll be back in 1 second. All right, so what type does is you can see I clicked the little plus button down the bottom right while I was outside and I'm puffed. Okay, so it just wants me to draw a little box around the type. Okay, which is easy enough. Hit the little tick bar. So this is exactly like Typekit. Remember Typekit earlier on, we found fonts this way. So this is just more of a mobile way while you're out and about doing stuff. And it's done a pretty good job. So I don't think it's April. Let's have a little look. Not quite right. I'm not going to go through them all, but there's some pretty close contenders here. Okay. Oh, not that one. Okay, but once you've found one, you decide that that's the one. Okay, I'm going to click on him. And you can save it to your library. Let's click edit. No, that looks fine. Okay, I hit the little arrow in the top right. And that's my character style that I'll put in there. I'm just going to hit save. And I'm going to save it to that Daniel Scott library. Let's move on to the next one, colors. Okay, colors, I love this one. So colors tab along the top, plus button down the bottom right. And you get like a mini, I guess, shop visit. Okay, there's my office. Okay, I'm in a tiny little town in Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, I got my film gear up so it looks a bit messy. But yeah, I use those little boards there. They're my sound boards so that it doesn't sound like I'm kind of filming in the loo. They're all kind of made of towels and foam and stuff. But yeah, that's my place. Why am I doing this? I don't know why I decided to go on a tour, but you can see little dots moving around. It's a really cool job at picking kind of swatches, not just any swatches as well. It picks a nice combination. So say I like this awesome shark giraffe combo color. Okay, and if I hit the little big button down the middle, down the bottom, okay, it takes a snapshot. I can move these around afterwards. Watch, I can drag these around. Okay, and click OK, And yeah, we can adjust the colors here. I'm not going to, I'm just gonna hit the arrow in the top right, and it's gonna be my color theme. I'm gonna hit save it to my library. Materials, we're not gonna cover, it's more 3D stuff. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do 2 more patterns, because patterns are great. Then we'll do brushes, and that's it. Hit the little plus button for patterns, and now we're moving around the office. You can kind of see in the middle, there's like a little, tiny little section. Okay, and see right along the top, there are different kind of ways of displaying it. So I'm gonna go the top left, okay? It's kind of like prism thing, and I'm just moving around. You can see it's making some really cool design patterns. So we did remember the pattern, it was under window pattern options. We did this earlier on with the ice block, okay? Whereas this is doing it with the actual images. Okay, it's better, yeah. Let's have a little look. It doesn't really matter what you're filming, like lame plastic plant. Ready? Click the middle button. I'm not going to edit anything. The cool thing about it is, there you go. It's going to be in my library. And let's look at brushes. Okay, I've got a brush here. So I just quickly drew really kind of like just a simple Sharpie line thing that I want to turn into a vector brush in Illustrator. You kind of got to get rid of the shadows, okay, and take a picture. Need some better lighting, but hopefully that'll do. Okay, that's probably not the best. I'm going to go back, take another photograph, try and get it in focus. That looks better. Cool, and what you want to do is the big circle down the bottom, it's the crop, this guy here, get it kind of close, and what you want to do is make sure you tell it what the tail is and what the head is. I kind of drew mine backwards. It's all right, doesn't really matter. All right, once you kind of get it like that, we are going to move along the top. So we've got crop done. Let's go to styles, which is along the top, the next little tab. Okay, and decide what kind of brush you want to make. We want to go to the bottom here. We want Illustrator brushes. We're going to click on that guy where it says presets. Go to the next one. Okay, and we can kind of define on how thick or thin we want this brush. And we can go to refine. And the crazy thing about this one is that it took such accurate photograph that underneath this bit of paper is that, remember that, you can kind of see him just about there. There's that clover, okay? That's on, I can't physically see it, but somehow the camera got it. So I'm just dragging this left or right, okay? I'm going back to the left. Okay, I'm just trying to find it so it's just my line. You can kind of see it at the top being drawn, which is pretty cool. All right, happy with that. Click the arrow at the top right. Save it to my library, and now we are going to jump back onto the screen. All right, let's jump over there. Okay, so we're back over into Illustrator, back inside the computer where it's safer. Wandering around with my mobile phone is probably not the greatest tutorial ever, but we get a feel for it, right? Let's look at all the things we created. So in my libraries, I'm in that one called Daniel Scott, and there's my terrible Kiwi. I'll drag him out. He's a bit small. Let's drag him out nice and big. Okay. And the cool thing about him is that he's vector, he's scalable, he can be colorized. Okay, so let's look at our colors next. So you can see I can click on these. You can see my Kiwi changes to those lovely, remember the giraffe riding the shark. Okay, so I've got all those colors in here. Other things we've got in here is we've got our font. Okay, so this one here, I can pick our character style. Now this is pretty like, it's a specific style, so it says the it's the exact font size as well in color. So I'm going to turn this back into point type, holding shift and drag the corner up to something bigger. So you see, yeah, brought through our lovely font from our friends down in Beetroot. All right, 2 other things we're going to do is I'm going to grab my brush. Okay, and so brush is a bit weird. Sometimes you think, oh, it's a stroke. It kind of is, but use the brush tool instead of the pencil tool. Okay, and I'm going to click on my brush, and I'm going to click on the stroke color. Okay, I'm going to use white, and I'm going to have no fill, go away fill, and I'm going to draw something. What am I going to draw? I'm going to try and draw this. Actually, what I might do is bump up the file stroke size as well. What does that look like? Getting there, maybe there. Bit big. Come on, Dan, do it. All right, so we'll draw our heart. What you'll notice is that I've recorded mine backwards. So I wanted the kind of that blob to be at the beginning, the kind of, I like that Sharpie feel where it kind of feels like, you know, when you first push it down, the ink kind of soaks in a bit. You can fix that. Window, go to brushes, and in here, there's my brush there. You know, double click them, and direction. There it is there, wrong direction. All right, brushes down, wait for it. You're not waiting for much, but that is my heart that I'm trying to draw. It's meant to go through here and be, the cool thing about it though is like, I'm using my Wacom now, and it's just a really nice, more natural way of drawing, and especially when you find some good brushes, or in this case, create your own brushes. Okay, so that's bad drawing. All right, but you get the idea. Love those lovely strokes you can create. All right, and now the last thing we're gonna do is we're going to grab the rectangle tool, we're gonna draw a rectangle, and let's look under libraries at our pattern. Remember our terrible IKEA fake plant? There he is there. Here's a cool little pattern. All right, now I hope you got an idea, I guess, of how that app works. It's free for Mac, and sorry, for Apple iOS and Android. But yeah, it's super cool. I use definitely the colors all the time and stealing fonts. Yeah, really cool little extra thing that you can plug into Illustrator. It works with Photoshop as well. Yeah, that is going to be the end of this quite strange tutorial. All right, I'll see you in the next video.